Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We are Monazi.
In today's video, we're sharing with you one of the questions we get the most, and actually one of the questions we wondered the most before we started van life.
How much do you actually spend per month in a van? So in a nutshell, what are the van life costs for you when you're on the road?
For us, when we're on the road.
Or for us when we're on the road. So we break it down into 6 main categories where we spend monthly money on.
Yeah.
Let's jump right into it.
The first category, and probably our favorite one, is food. We love grocery shopping, in case you didn't know. We love buying nice, organic, local food when possible. And this is probably our highest monthly cost because we actually go shopping quite often.
Yes.
We have a small fridge as well, so that means you have to shop more regularly. But anyway, food is the first category, and we calculated that more or less we do a weekly shop of 120 euros.
Inclusive when you go out to a restaurant or something, which we barely do.
Which comes up at the end of the month to 480 euros approximately.
So it might be a bit more for you, might be also less if you don't buy so expensive and don't go out. So the second category is petrol, which also heavily depends on how much you are driving and how the costs are at the moment, or the prices. We calculated that we need approximately 3 full tanks a month, and one tank cost us an average 90 euros. So that would bring us to 270 euros per month. Yeah. Diesel in that case.
You have to keep in mind that it really depends on what kind of traveling you're doing. There were months where we were crossing countries, driving pretty much every day, 2 hours a day, and we had to petrol not often, almost even twice a week sometimes when we were driving a lot. While other times, for example, like we've been in the islands right now for the last 4 months, for some weeks we barely moved. That meant we really didn't have to petrol that often. So it really depends on what kind of traveling you're doing.
I think if you travel very slow and take your time and don't do so much driving every day, I think you don't have such a high expense on the petrol side.
Bear in mind that this is just an approximate, not too much, not too little driving for us. Our category number 3 is campsites or campgrounds. This one is a bit of a tricky one. We didn't install a gas cooker in our van, so we are pretty much full on electricity, which means we have 3 big batteries that need to be charged, and when the sun is not out, this becomes a challenge. While we were in Sweden, we found ourselves going to campgrounds much more often, while now in the Canary Islands we have sun every day and we don't need to go to campsites at all. Time where we don't have all the sun all the time, we would maybe go to campsites once a week or twice a week, and more or less we paid anything between 8 to 12 euros, 15 euros in very expensive ones, maybe like in France or something. So more or less 4 times once per week was around 50 euros on campsites.
Yes, and you don't only have to go to campsites to charge your van, maybe you also want to grab a shower or drop your grey water, or let's say that for services, for whatever reason you have to go to campsites, or gyms could also be substituted for it. So this is around 50 euros a month that you have to put in your calculation for your monthly cost in van life.
Hopefully now that we got an external gas cooker, we can avoid some visits to camping grounds in our next visits.
And since we barely shower, we actually... No, I'm joking. Let's move on to number 4, activities, which is also hardly depending on you, like how much you want to do. Are you a very active person and you want to do adventures and pay for them? I don't know, like paragliding. We had a friend doing paragliding here on the islands. Taking lessons, surf lessons, whatever. We had months where we didn't spend anything on activities, and then other months we did some more activities. It's really depending on the month, but we said as an estimate it's around 100 euros per month that you might calculate for activities.
We're also not very touristy people, so when we go to cities we don't really go to museums and do very touristy activities where mostly you have to pay. We just like to walk around and kind of get a feel of places. So yeah, this might really depend on how much you want to get involved into activities. Category number 5 is our phones. As we've mentioned in the past, we started this journey both working on the road, and you know, our generation, we are connected all the time to the internet, YouTube, Instagram, and maybe just Netflix and chill. Whatever it is, we need to be connected to the internet. So we got the biggest plans we could for our phones before we left Berlin. This is 120 gigabytes for each of us, which comes to a total of 65 euros a month.
For both of us.
Together, which is not too bad.
I think it's quite okay. So also we don't have to hustle and look for different SIM cards and different phone plans, and for this commodity you just maybe pay a little extra, but you have a lot of gigabytes. 240 gigabytes is quite a bit.
Yeah, we got an external SIM card for our router, so with this data we can also use both our hotspots and an individual router. And so far it's been enough for us. Only once I think we passed this amount because we went a bit wild, I guess.
Number 6, insurance. I know this is something you don't want to see in your monthly calculation, but it's reality. And this insurance is billed annual for us, but we broke it down per month, divided by 12 months. So you have an idea what you should maybe save, at least to cover also other bills that are coming up annually for your van.
Although this is German insurance, so it could really heavily depend on where you live or where you're insuring your car from, because I actually have no idea how much it is in other countries.
Me neither. Let us know down in the comment section below if you have experienced how much an insurance costs in your country. We actually have 2 insurances, one for inside of the vehicle, of the van, and one outside when you are like in the traffic, normal
inside
traffic.
You mean like the stuff we have inside?
Yeah, inside, like all the interior is insured and our
devices
and yes, all that together cost us per year 1,575 euros, which comes down per month to 131 euros and 25 cents. A lot of numbers, I know, but you wanted it, so here we go.
So all of these categories together come to a total of 1,096 euros. This would be what we consider a normal month with normal costs, nothing too crazy, just living the normal life for 2 people.
So we also had other months, just to give you like an example how like a very bad month and a very good month would look like. To give you some perspective, for example, France and Portugal have a lot of tolls on within the country, so you have to calculate that. And also when your car breaks down, you need reparations and on top accommodation, because it's your home. And in July when we broke down in Spain, yes, we have our first breakdown. We spent 2,757 euros this month, which was definitely the highest. And just be aware that stuff like this can happen at any time. So just be prepared, and if you have some of the low months, which will be probably more likely, keep some money on the side. So when a bad month comes, you are prepared and you have some savings on the side.
And to take you to the other side of this spectrum, there are other months where we actually don't move so much and we don't go out a lot. The car is functioning properly and our monthly costs are much lower. We calculated around 815 euros, meaning, as we said before, we don't have to go to any campgrounds, we don't do many activities, and we are a bit more chill, like we've been also in the islands, I would say. So we would recommend you to be prepared for everything and be mindful, and maybe if it helps you, keep your numbers together at the beginning to get a feel of how much you are using every month, and keep in mind that it's gonna depend on your lifestyle.
Alright guys, that's it from us today. We hope you enjoyed the video and it was actually helpful to plan your van life adventure and know with what numbers you should be working with or like will be working with.
Keep in mind we live in Europe and these are the prices in euros for us as a German based couple with a German car. If you have any other questions related to van life, please do leave them in the comment. We would love to give you an answer and help you as much as we can. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, like this video and subscribe to our channel because we post videos every week. And as always, see you guys on the road.
Bye bye.
Bye.